Howdy, 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 everybody. Teresa here, and
Weatherman Brad.
It is August 13th, 2016. Happy anniversary, honey.
Happy anniversary, my love.
Thank you. It's 28 years we've been married now.
Can you believe she's put up with me for that long? Yeah.
And I keep re-upping.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you guys can't see me real well. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if that helped any.
A lot of glare.
Oh, well. It is Saturday morning. It's 11:33 a.m. And what is the weather like today, Brad, Heide?
The current temperature in PANACEA, Florida is 84 degrees. Projected high today of 89, a low of 77. Real field temperature is 102 degrees, and they are predicting rain. We've heard a few thunderclaps, and our poor giant schnauzer, she just about wet herself.
She's doing okay.
I know, but when we were outside walking her, I was outside walking her, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that all there is?
That's it.
Okay, yesterday we left off with you guys. We decided that I didn't make pancakes after all because it was already getting kind of late and I'm just not feeling real perky. I'm still not feeling real perky. So he made barbecue chicken and I did Spanish rice and green beans for lunch. And then we cleaned house. And then we laid down, took naps. I don't know if you ever took a nap or not.
I did.
No. I did. And then he made pancakes. The pancakes I was going to make him, he made for dinner. And because I had to work.
Yeah.
I had to work. I always put, if I have an order, I always commit myself to a certain amount of hours every day that I need to sit and work on these orders. So he made the cinnamon apple sauce pancakes from scratch. Did you like them?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have them because I'm not a pancake fan. I just never really have been. And so I just had some leftover chicken and some leftover noodles from a couple of nights ago. I ended up working for 8 hours last night. But I got all of the components for that mermaid tail blanket done. So today all I'll be doing is sewing them together and assembling them. So I've got the two. This is what will be making the tail pieces. Let me see. This is one of two. And so then, I'll have it like this. And then, let me see. Get the other one. Gotta make sure you have the right side out, because that will help. So, and then this will be the other side, and then they will kind of crisscross like that for the tail. And then I have the two panels that I need to sew together and do the finishing stuff on it. So, I am right on schedule. I should be finishing that today. And I'll be able to show you it tomorrow. And then it will go in the mail Monday. You forget how many hours actually take to do like a blanket and stuff. Takes a lot of hours. Takes a lot of yarn. And stuff. I have a tendency to underprice my work. But it's hard when it's a friend or whatever, but yeah, it's next. If I do another one, I'm going to charge more than I charge on this one. This was just for a friend that, I know that they are going through some stuff themselves, I wanted just to, it was for a young girl's birthday, so you want to know they have a nice birthday. So anyway, I've enjoyed doing it, but I have not been feeling well the last couple of days. I don't know, I feel like it's so, I think I'm running a fever. No, I haven't taken my temperature, but I'm just so uncomfortably warm, and even when Brad is here, it's just kind of freezing. And We've done a complete switch. Early in our marriage, I was always the one that was always cold. He was always hot. Now we've done a complete switch. Right now we're having protein shakes for our anniversary lunch because we keep forgetting every month to buy any stuff for lunch. And you know, I don't want to eat too much ramen because yeah, it's empty calories. There's no real nutritional value. It's full of carbs. It's full of sodium. So, you know, but we like the protein shakes, and we have plenty of that protein powder. So that's what we're having. I am making meatloaf, which is one of Brad's favorite dishes. So I am making that tonight. And I don't know why I'm so dark today. The wind too light.
Do you normally have that light on behind you?
I don't know. I don't know if that'll help or not. It might. But I am making meatloaf tonight in the crock pot outside. And we're going to have some baked potatoes with it. And then some kind of vegetable. And like I said, I'll just be working on that. I don't know if that helped or not. No, it didn't. Actually, it made it worse. It's just the light behind me. Oh well, you guys will just have to live with it, right? You guys know what my mug-a-lug looks like anyway. One thing I wanted to talk about was today's topic was making a marriage work. And the biggest part of making a marriage work that I believe is that yes, you truly love that person and the ability to forgive each other. Because none of us stay the same people we were when we get married. We all change. And not saying all marriages can be saved. I know that some can't. I've been divorced once. You know, I was married one time before. But I think too many people give up way too fast. And I think we hold on to what happened in the past. That maybe that person was going through, maybe your spouse was going through a difficult time in their life. You know, and it might have even been with a work situation, their career, maybe another dynamic with another family member, or just their own internal conflict. So maybe they weren't there when you needed them. Maybe they didn't say what you needed to have them say, or said the wrong thing, or did the wrong thing. We've all done it. We've all said the wrong thing or not said anything when we should have. We've all not been there for our spouse when we should have at different points in time, because none of us are perfect. You know, and if anybody tells you they have a perfect marriage and they always have, I will call bullshit. Just plain out. There's nobody that has not done something wrong. It takes two people, like Brad and I were talking about the other day, it takes two people to either make a marriage or break a marriage. And you can't just put all the blame on your spouse. You know, I mean, I know that I've done many things wrong in our marriage, and Brad has too. And there were times where, you know, we both really were not there for each other. That maybe we were too self-absorbed in our own problems, our own internal conflict, you know, and maybe trying to be people we really weren't, you know, but you grow together, you come together and you look, and when you're having a conflict with your spouse, is the love really there? If the love is really there, you can most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, come to, and if both are willing to work on it, come to a compromise, come to a meeting of the mind, you know, where maybe your spouse is upset because maybe he feels like you're not spending enough time with him. Maybe you're upset because you feel like you're doing all the housework and he's not chipping in. You can compromise. You can say, well, you know, if you spend some time with me helping me do some of the housework, then I can go and spend some time with you doing going to a movie or going fishing or, you know, something you both enjoy. Right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You can chime in anytime if you want.
Well, sorry, I didn't want to be rude and interrupt, but
No.
yeah, that's the biggest thing is compromise. I mean, it can't be one person's way or the other person's way. You have to be able to compromise and work things out.
Right.
You know, like you said, you know, it takes two people to make or break a marriage.
Yeah.
You know, anybody you talk to, and I used to hear this a lot in the liquor store. Any person you talk to that says, well, it's all his fault or it's all her fault.
Right.
Yeah, that's another one where you can call bullshit on.
Yeah, because...
Yeah.
There's usually a reason why your spouse is reacting the way they are. And I'm not talking about domestic abuse at all. That's just... No. And I've been down that road too. Not with my husband now.
Well, you know, there's sometimes, you know, you're talking about different influences. There's sometimes I know I've been a real butthead, and you know, you start asking me what's wrong, and you know, when I was working, there was a lot of times it was work or you know, like right now, I try not to be a butthead, but you know, my back is not my friend right now.
No. He's having a very bad flare-up the last couple of days. But what I'm talking about, though, is in the cases of maybe alcoholism, drug abuse, domestic abuse, no. A lot of times, no. I mean, especially to me, there's just no room for those three things. You know, but if it's just the other. And I'm not saying all the time on that case either. Sometimes, if it's gone on for so many years and you've talked to your spouse and nothing changes, maybe they just don't want to do anything with you, they just don't, you know, they're kind of off in their own little world, then yeah, probably that marriage cannot be saved, or you have to kind of come to a mind of being roommates, you know. But I think people give up too easily. We've seen it a lot with the economy. When the things are good, then there'll be a flourish of marriages and babies and everything. And then when the economy is bad, there'll be a flourish of divorces. You know, which is sad.
I think I thought I read somewhere recently where Wyoming had the highest divorce rate. And, you know, and especially the last couple of years, you know, there were these people working out in the oil fields and working out in the coal mines that were making $125,000, $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're asking, do you want fries with that?
Yeah.
You know, because they just can't.
And we've seen it. We've seen it so many times where you'll have somebody that you knew was in the oil field and they were making, you know, so much money, and then 6 months down the road you go to a fast food place and you know. And another reason why it's a higher suicide rate too. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to say, don't give up if you can. Try to exhaust every avenue, like couples counseling, you know, individual counseling, you know, really sitting and talking to each other with no distractions. Put the cell phones down. Turn the TV off. Sit together. You know, we all start out when we start dating and when we're newly married that we are so attentive to each other. You know, when you start dating and you're newly married and stuff, it's just the two of you against the world, and you know, and that's all you think about. Well, you got to keep that going. And one of the things is, if you really think about a long marriage, and I think it's cyclic. You have your ups and your downs, and you have your honeymoon period kind of repeats itself every so often. And then you have the periods like it's kind of like any normal day. Some days are just fantastic and super wonderful. Then you have some of the kind of the mediocre normal days, you know. Then you'll have a few, well, you know, marriage is kind of like that. There's days where each other breathing is pissing the other person off. I mean, let's just be real. You know, it's like if you could kindly stop breathing, that would be nice. You know, and then there's days where, oh, look at, isn't that cute how they snore? You're not putting a pillow over their head that night. Right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, it's just a cyclic thing. You all know that we've had a very bad year. And not relationship-wise. Relationship-wise, it's been a great year. But, you know, as far as having a number of things happen that have been very hard. There've been a few bitter pills to swallow, but, you know, we swallow them and just go on. We digest them, poop them out, go on.
Yep.
You know, like they say, shit happens.
Yep.
But, you know, I mean, if anything, it's going to either make you become closer when you're having a hard time of stuff, or, you know, some years are great, some years are harder.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, the one of the things too is it really helps to be married to your best friend. And I saw a lot, you know, and a lot of it. I've worked storefront retail for close to 40 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, you know, yeah, you got to be married to your best friend, because I don't know how many people I see come in the store, and he would come in with his group of friends, she would come in with her group of friends, you know, and there was no meeting in the middle. And over the years, I think the happiest couples that I knew of, they were each other's best friend.
Yeah.
You know, and there's and there's so many couples that have been married for, you know, 25 years plus, that they don't have this big circle of friends. It's mainly the two of them, you know.
Yeah.
Because
it's like us. We don't have a huge circle of friends. He is my best friend, but we work hard at not letting anybody really come in between us.
Mm-hmm.
We both have met people that all of a sudden it's like they want to. They act like you must not have had a life before you met them, and that you have this abundance of time to hang with them, be on the phone with them, and stuff. And that's why I don't. One of the reasons I don't sit on the phone for hours, because it takes away time with my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
It takes away time from me working. It takes away time from my spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he doesn't want to sit there and listen to me yakking on the phone. You know, I mean, not that I object to, you know, talking on the phone, you know, for a little bit or something, but, you know, you can't let your friends become more important than your spouse, ever. You know, it's just like sometimes you need to hire that babysitter and go out with just your spouse and leave the kids behind. Not bring the kids with you constantly, because, you know, you need to still be dating.
Yeah.
You still need to date occasionally, you know, with each other.
Yep.
It works out better if it's with each other.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. You know, and that's, you know, I've got 3 or 4 friends that I like to keep in contact with.
Yeah, some family members that call once in a while.
You know, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to spend my whole week on the phone with these people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, these people are great. I love these people, but, you know, you're the one. You are the one.
It was like he was outside earlier, and our neighbor Carl. First he was chit-chatting a little bit with Mitch and Sheila, and I didn't, because one of us has to stay kind of behind and keep the dogs, you know.
I am the social butterfly.
Yeah, around here, yeah. He was going around with his back brace on, and then he was talking to Carl next door, because, you know, and stuff, and Carl wanted to visit, but he came over and he said he really wants to kind of visit, and I'm like, that's fine, you know, go ahead, you know, because I was sitting outside there, and I was just kind of messing on my phone anyway, but, you know, and if he's on the phone, it's usually because I'm working anyway. You know, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, I mean, he's made some connections with some family members he hasn't heard from in a long time, and they happen to be male family members that I don't have a history really with Doug. He's a nice guy, and it's his cousin Doug, and I've talked with him on numerous occasions, but I didn't need to be on the conversation and stuff. I mean,
Yeah. Or, me getting back in contact with Carrie,
Yeah, he'd been friends with his friend Carrie since 7th grade, you said?
Yep. It's nice to be back in contact with them, but...
Isn't he the one you guys used to go fishing all the time in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
And I mean, you only met him a couple times.
Yeah. And that's when when I met him, he was with somebody that neither one of us really cared for, but we didn't say anything, that's his business. But he was having some difficulties in his life.
Yeah, she wasn't good for him.
No.
She was definitely not good for him.
No.
And it's really, really nice to be in contact, and and I love talking with my brother too.
Yeah, but you need to call him.
I will call him tonight.
Yeah. I was watching the waves out there. The current. Look. Tide must be coming in.
Focus.
Sorry!
Focus.
Sometimes you outside and the water can be so mesmerizing. The tide's coming in right now. It's like, ugh.
Shiny objects.
Yeah. But, I just, like I said, and I'm no expert or anything. It's just, I see people and they're like, well, he did this and he did that and she did this and she did that and he said this and she said that. And I am the first one to say, I used to have such a hard time with forgiveness. Because that's what I was taught, that it was okay to really hold a grudge because maybe somebody said something wrong. And we are very much a throwaway society on relationships, whether it's friendship or marriage or whatever. Sadly, because it's like, well, maybe that person was having a bad day when they said that, or maybe they didn't understand that you were going to take it wrong. I mean, sometimes you just kind of have your defenses up, and no matter what anybody says, you're just going to be, angry.
Yeah.
You're going to be an angry bird someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apologizing to each other is really great. Sometimes I know I'm being a little short with practice. Maybe I'm having a painful day, and I will be the first one to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, do that, and he'll do the same thing. Sometimes he'll get real,
buttheadish.
Well, I wouldn't say that, real short, real snappy and stuff when he's in a lot of pain. He gets very frustrated with himself, and stuff. But anyway, that's just my viewpoint on I can't think of anybody better I would want to grow old with. I can't imagine my life without him. It's really neat. It's just kind of like watching a child grow up. Or, before you start.
No, I'm sorry.
Wow. Now you're going to get spanked. But it's kind of like, but in a way, you're married. It's kind of like watching one of your children grow up and flourish and emerge this beautiful butterfly, or, I guess boys would be bugs. But, watching your marriage, you see where you two started at and where you grew. And no, it's not about what homes you purchased and what vehicles you purchased and stuff. It's about those special little moments that maybe it was, special little moments that nobody else would even think of. Everybody thinks of the grand things. But you know what? It's the special moments of like him holding my hand and being the one holding my hand when I woke up from having surgeries and, all of that. I mean, or probably when I've dragged you into emergency rooms and stuff, because, I knew he was in trouble. It was, I'll tell the story real quick. It was many years ago, and I was in college. Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was less than 10 years ago, probably. And I knew he was getting sick, and he's had a history, even as a child, of having bronchitis very badly. And I knew he was getting sick, and I was worried about him. I left to go to school that morning, to go to college, and I was so worried because, you know, he's also an asthmatic. And so I actually was so worried that I left. I had like a 7 a.m. anatomy class, 2-hour-long class, you know. I left. I told my instructor, I was about a half hour into it, I said, I've got to go home. My husband's really sick. I think I need to take an emergency room. I came home, and yes, he was in trouble. You know, when you get so bad that you're just laying there in bed, because you really can't do anything. So I helped him get dressed, got him to the emergency room. Turned out he had, was it double pneumonia?
Pneumonia and bronchitis.
Pneumonia and bronchitis. They wanted to admit him, and he refused. They sent him home with oxygen. He was on oxygen at full-time oxygen for 6 weeks and stuff. And, you know, but it was just, I knew he needed help. I knew that I had to do something, you know. And so then every day, you know, he's very depressed being off work, being at home with oxygen all of a sudden and stuff. So I would come home at noon and stuff and load him up. And back then they didn't have the little backpacks for the oxygen and stuff. It was the full big bottle on the rolling stand, you know, and get him out of the house for a while. He even served jury duty while he was on oxygen because he was just so happy to have something to do. They kept saying, the judge said, you know, you can be excused, you know, and he's like, no. But, no, it's just making the best of it. I mean, you know, we've had some hard things happen, but everybody does, and but we've had a good life, too.
Yes, we have.
You know.
Yeah. I figure if I wake up and you're in my life, it's going to be a good day.
Aww. Same way. But anyway, I'm going to get off here because I do need to get this meatloaf going, and then I need to put the 10 unit on him first because he is having a painful back day, and excuse me, I got the hiccup from the protein drink. But because usually what we try to do is do the 10 unit. He's already been wearing a back brace today, but do the 10 unit for a while and then put some more Bengay on. Of course, he's taking a leave too, and then if he's up walking around, he puts the back brace on. So I'm just glad you know all that. Anyway, love you guys, and I do cherish your friendship, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I think you guys are awesome. Say bye, Brad.
Bye, Brad.
Bye, guys.